Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. It is episode 75, I think. not gonna freaking double check it if I'm wrong, whatever. 3/4 of a way to 100, or, a bit before that, bit after that. Yeah, who couldn't make it 3/4 of a way to 100? Yes, speaking of 75th anniversary teams and players that may or should not have been on them. One of them is in a different city, so yeah, I don't know. That was such a weird ass segue. I don't know. Look, man, how else am I gonna talk about Dame going to Milwaukee? Okay, like how else am I gonna talk about it? Like freaking. What else could I have said? I could have talked about the weather. I could have been like, it was pretty kind of cold today. It was kind of cold today where I live in Southern California. I don't know. I feel like Dame is gonna be saying that a lot in his new residence with his new team. Yeah. So that happened. I don't know. Look. Yeah. Yeah, Miami screwed up. Miami really did screw up, man. They really did. Pat Riley, is he the godfather anymore? Putting freaking the rings on the damn table. I mean, I don't know, man. He seems to be. He seems to be losing a step a bit. He seems to be. And Milwaukee took a big swing after Giannis has made some comments kind of not so subtly hinting, he said straight up in a New York Times interview article or whatever that if he doesn't feel like there's a commitment by the rest of the team to win a championship, then he's not gonna re-sign to the team. He's not gonna sign an extension with the team. And then there was another interview where he's like, I love being a Buck, I want to be a Buck, but if there's a better opportunity for me to win a championship, then I'm not gonna stay on the team, right? Something like that. That's not exactly what it is, but it's basically that sentiment, right? Which is what I do with a bunch of comments. But that's the bottom line. The bottom line is that they worked. Those comments worked. The Bucks, when no one thought they were even a freaking option, took a swing at Dame. All they had to do was give up Drew Holiday. And another thing about this trade was that wherever Drew Holiday ended up was of great interest to the rest of the league, and he ended up where else? Freaking the Boston Celtics. I mean, yeah, I was really happy about that. I really enjoy the fact that all of the power in the Eastern Conference is being concentrated in the Celtics and the Bucks, and that other teams do not have that same power. Other teams just signed Kelly Oubre, Patrick Beverly. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't want to say names here. I don't want to say names, but the process that Milwaukee must have gone through, right? Of their GM, was it Horst? I think his name is, being hey, Dame is somewhat of it. We should try freaking making a trade package for Dame, right? We should try this, and then that actually happening. There was reports as this freaking saga was seemingly there was new life breathed into it, because there was I don't know. I think it happened a week or two ago where Toronto came up as an option, right? Or it was Toronto and the Blazers have been talking, right? And then but Toronto, it looked wouldn't give up. Who was it? They wouldn't give up Pascal. No, Scotty Barnes. They wouldn't give him up. I don't know. Anyways, it would have been interesting for him to end up there, though. It would have been even colder than freaking Milwaukee, right? Would it? I mean, Canada. I mean, I don't know. I just think of Canada as colder than the U.S. on average. I don't know. Very, very narrow-minded of me to think that. Very naive, but Anyways, Dame is a Buck. Do I have any funny things? I wish I had more of a funnier thing to say, but I don't know. There's a lot to get to. I mean, there's a lot in this episode. The first day of October. I don't know, man. What else is there, man? What else is there? There's that stuff. Drew Holiday's on the Celtics. I really like that. I said that already. Dame's on the Bucks. Just recapping. The whole saga has ended. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the other parts of the trade. The Blazers, in return for it was a 3-team deal for Dame, right? The Bucks had to give up Drew Holiday and like a couple picks, first-round picks, and then the Suns gave up DeAndre Ayton and a rookie, Toumani Camara, in return to get from the Blazers Yusuf Nurkic, and then from the Milwaukee Bucks they got Grayson Allen, right? Yeah, from the Bucks they got Grayson Allen, and then from the Blazers they got Nazir Little, I think. Yeah, and Keon Johnson, I think. So that's basically the trade package. And then, you know, another part of this whole saga was like the you know, I did have a thing. I had a tiny little moment in a previous episode where I'm like, come on, Miami fans, why are you so damn arrogant, man? You're gonna get Dame. Why the freaking outrage over Portland, right? Of being like, he's not trading Dame enough sooner. He's not trading Dame here sooner. It's like, he's not listening to the offer. You know, why is the Portland GM waiting to trade Dame when Dame has already said he only wants to go to Miami, and his agent said he only wants to go to Miami, and then his agent said if he gets traded to a place other than Miami, he might not show up, and then the league being like, yeah, actually, we're gonna have to investigate you for that. It's like, oh man, Miami, you really came out of this just, you know, taking a massive L. I mean, like, I think they're gonna be fine. I think they'll probably still be a playoff team, but it's like they I feel like a lot of Miami fans thought they had this stuff in the bag. They thought they had Dame in the bag, and then, you know, the whole, like, you know, he's gonna end up on the Heat. Dame said he would end up on the Heat. Every freaking thing about player empowerment, you know, the era from 2010 to now, basically, and everything from then, like, all of these players going to basically wherever they want, right? Except like Kawhi, but like, I don't know, except that, you know, that's like one kind of thing, you know, like, it's basically you know, the whole thing about player empowerment, I guess, for those who don't know, is that if you're a big star player, you probably have a lot of control dictating where you want to go, like what team you want to end up in free agency, or like what team you want to get traded to if you request the trade. That's basically one aspect of it. I think there's like other aspects of it, but that's the specific aspect of it that I'm talking about with the Dame trade thing, right? Precedent with player empowerment would tell you that if Dame says he wants to go to Miami, and it's the only team he says he wants to go to, and that his agent is like, no, if he goes to another team, he might not report, you know, he might be unhappy there, like, then he must freaking go there, right? He has to end up in Miami. But yeah, no. The Portland GM, yeah, Joe Cronin, probably, he was just like, yeah, actually, you know, you chose to freaking request a trade. We like, and now you want to freaking dictate where you want to go. I don't know. Probably. It seems from the outside like a step back from that, you know, of like not letting exactly players dictate where they want to go, right? Yeah. So there you go. There's also another like funny little thing from an article that, like, was it, I think like Chris Haynes put out a report. He's like the guy like most closely linked to Dame as a reporter. So he like put out this thing, and then like a little piece of it was that like in the middle of this saga, and like I don't know, sometime in the middle of this saga, Dame only requesting Miami, right? I think he said a comment to Joe Cronin of like, hey, if you can't find a deal for me other than Miami, then I would rescind my trade request and just return to the team, right? I would just like take my trade request back and just go back to the Blazers, you know? And then Joe Cronin's like, no. It's like you know, you've come too far, man. It's like we're yeah, like come on, man. We were like come on. That was just a funny thing. How like Dame maybe thought that he could freaking like actually take it back if he wasn't gonna be traded to Miami. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Is it a good thing for the league? I don't know. Yeah, there's so many other things. What other angles are there to this? Lakers fans, some Lakers fans on Twitter think that they are gonna meet the Bucks in the finals. Okay. There's like been like I don't know, like argument among Suns fans of like, you know, I don't know. The relationship between DeAndre Ayton and like Suns fans is like weird. Like a lot of Suns fans kind of use him as a scapegoat for like the problems in the playoffs recently of like, I don't know. I really don't know what it is. Specifically from a basketball perspective, it's that he's like a center, but he's not a dominant like paint in the paint center, right? Like Suns fans are really upset that like, you know, a lot of times he spins out of the paint and like takes a mid-range shot, right? When he should be dunking the ball more and like I don't know. I don't know. I just don't really see that as like that fair a criticism, to be honest. like he's good as a mid-range shooter. Like I don't know. I guess people want him to be more dominant. Like they want I don't know. I guess that's the surface level view of it. I think there's more stuff than that. But there's also like the angle of like him having chemistry issues, you know. It was a thing that started up back in like the end of the 2022 season in the playoffs. If you remember that game 7 where the Suns lost to Dallas, you know, oh man, it was a time. Yeah, you know, Chris Paul hitting a huge tree to cut the lead to 42, you know, just things like that. And then like this year's playoffs, DeAndre Ayton didn't play in Game 6, the closeout game where the Suns also had a blowout loss against the Nuggets, who eventually won the championship. So you know, I don't know. But you know, I guess yeah, DeAndre Ayton is traded to another team. He seems really happy about it, and then like I don't know. And then people who aren't Suns fans are like, what happened to him? What did you do to him? When it's like, yeah, and then Suns fans in response are like, he's always like this. I mean, it's like, what do you mean? He's always been like this. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I think if you were to pick DeAndre Ayton's head, I feel like he is kind of glad that he got traded from Phoenix. I think he wanted to be traded from Phoenix, you know. There was this whole freaking hullabaloo, I guess you would call it, of like, you know, like, will DeAndre Ayton still be on the team, right? Like, do you trade him, you know, like in the middle of the season? Yeah, I think it is just better, even if Nurkic isn't, you know, as good as Ayton defensively, you know, or offensively. Like, yeah, I think from my view, it's more of a trade of like, you have to get rid of, you know, maybe he's not a locker room cancer, but it's like, he would be a player that would probably bring down your chemistry, right? It's like he clearly, yeah, like, yeah, I don't know, but like, I guess like maybe you could argue that his beef was really with Monty Williams, you know, the previous coach of the Suns, until this season. He got replaced by Frank Vogel, the former Lakers coach and the Pacers coach. Yeah, but I don't know. It's you know, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. I guess I'm glad that DeAndre Ayton gets a fresh start. And then the Blazers have a whole head start on their rebuild now. They have a bunch of picks. They traded away Drew Holiday as of this morning. They have a bunch of first round picks. They have Scoot Henderson, who could be generationally freaking great. I don't know. They have pieces, man. Yeah. So, yeah, the Blazers are looking in pretty good shape. The Bucks and the Celtics look like they're probably going to be running the East. Oh, man. Like, the Eastern Conference Finals is basically the finals. And, like, God, dude, why is it so easy for my hunger bars to go down, man? I do not remember it being this easy for hunger bars to go down. I don't know. Maybe when you're just sprinting all the time. Yeah, so is that all of the trade talk? Everything? What else has been happening? Yeah, so I can get this out of the way so I can talk about other things. Kai Jones has been acting weird, and then the Charlotte Hornets were like, actually, you need to take time away from the team. I don't know. Anything else? God. And Victor Wembanyama, he dyed his hair blonde this offseason. I guess like this, yeah, all of the offseason stuff. There was, yeah, I could move on to the WNBA because I actually know a bit of stuff there. Yeah, if you want, okay, a short freaking, yeah, shifting it, a short few minutes on the WNBA. The story, basically the main story going into the season was that the New York Liberty, you know, I don't know if did they trade for it? I don't know. The New York Liberty acquired Brianna Stewart, right, and Jonquel Jones, right, to pair with Sabrina Ionescu, and they also got Courtney Vandersloot, who was on the Chicago Sky, who won the championship in 2021, and like with all those players together, like it basically is a super team, right? And then the Aces, coming off a WNBA championship, who have their core of Asia Wilson and Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, and then Kelsey Plum. They added Candace Parker to their team, who's like, you know, one of the best WNBA players ever, right? I think, like, yeah, I have it in my head. Yeah, she basically is the WNBA's Wilt Chamberlain, right? Like, whenever there's a record talked about in the WNBA of like, this player is the first to score this many points, grab this many rebounds, do this much, or like have this stat line since, and then Candace Parker, her name like always comes up. So she's basically like the Wilt Chamberlain of the WNBA. So yeah. I don't know what that means for like in the WNBA, like as from a basketball perspective, not outside. If you know stuff about that, I don't know. I didn't say anything about that. Anyways. Yeah, so like basically it sets up that the Aces and the Liberty are the two teams, the two like biggest teams in the WNBA, and that they're basically like two super teams who were destined to meet in the WNBA finals, right? Which is what is going to happen. So yeah. I guess in the playoffs in the playoffs there's only like what, 2 rounds? Yeah, there isn't like in conference finals. It's only like a first round, semifinals, and then the finals because there are only 12 teams, right? So I think, yeah, the Liberty made it to the finals in the East. They faced the Mystics in the first round, and then they faced the Connecticut Sun, in the second round. And then the Aces in the first round, they faced the Chicago Sky, and then the second round, they faced the Dallas Wings. So, yeah. It's not really East-West because there's only 12 teams. I think it's just like league-wide. Yeah, I don't, yeah. Maybe like when the WNBA expands, because they have been talking about that, of maybe expanding the WNBA, which could be interesting. I hope certain cities get looked at for a team. I hope. There was like talks about, I think they were, like Denver was one of the teams listed as one of the cities they could look at. So that's cool. I could root for that freaking team. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, so basically the Aces and the Liberty are going to meet in the finals. And like another layer to this is the MVP race. It's like yeah, I don't know, somehow WNBA Twitter like comes up in my feed, of like people tweeting about the WNBA. There's like this one guy, Nikias Duncan. He's like one half of a podcast called The Dunker Spot, and he like actually like covers the WNBA full time, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, and like, you know, I saw like his tweets about the WNBA all the time, of like players and stuff and stats and, you know, all that stuff. And like the MVP race this season was like amazing, like very hotly contested. Yeah, it was basically between 3 players. It was between Asia Wilson, who was the reigning MVP, and she also and reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and she won Defensive Player of the Year this season too, back to back. So her, and then there's Brianna Stewart, who won MVP once before, and then there's Alyssa Thomas, who her claim is like having a bunch of triple doubles, and like, you know, there's like a little thing of like she was the first player, yeah, I don't know, to like yeah, she just got a bunch of triple doubles. I don't know. There was like a backhanded kind of comment made about her getting all those triple doubles, but I don't know. I guess it's I don't remember it exactly, so I guess it wouldn't be. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be apt to bring it up here. But the MVP race was between those three women, and then if you saw, I saw a tweet with the final tally of like the votes of the MVP race, and Alyssa Thomas had the most first place votes. She had the most first place votes. And if you see the margins of this, it's freaking crazy, man. It's crazy. Like Alyssa Thomas had the most first place votes for MVP. Ended up second. She lost by 7 points. 7 points, not 7 votes. 7 points, because yeah, with voting it's like, yeah, first place gets this many points, second place gets this many points. So Alyssa Thomas lost on MVP by 7 points while having the most first place votes, and then A'ja Wilson ended up in third. So yeah, basically a lot of the WNBA like fans, people like thought that A'ja Wilson was just the open and shut MVP, right? That she was just the obvious choice, right? Like her statistical like numbers, and then yeah, which leaves Brianna Stewart, and she won MVP, and then like I don't know, there's a lot of controversy based on that. There's like stuff people are talking about in regards to race, right? There's a picture ESPN put up of like a graphic of the three finalists for MVP, and like Brianna Stewart's like picture was on top, and she was smiling in her photo, and then like A'ja Wilson and Alyssa Thomas were below her, and they were like kind of grimacing, or like not they didn't choose a picture with them smiling. So like people, you know, I think there's some merit to that. I don't know, like there really is some merit to that. Like why did you specifically choose freaking those photos? I guess maybe like the freaking staffer or something, the freaking social media freaking person for ESPN was just like, I guess they lost on MVP, so they would be frowning, but I don't know. Just seems weird, you know, the two, you know, black women below, you know, frowning, and the white woman who won MVP smiling. I don't know. It's a bit, yeah, I think there is some credence to that. I think there is. Yeah, and like, you know, there's like these unpopular opinion threads. I don't know. Will I get into any of them? I might have bookmarked one of them. Yeah, I bookmarked one of them. There's like, yeah, these like drop an unpopular opinion, yeah, because instead, you know, it's like 50-50 between was it Flynn, Ryder, whatever, the guy from frickin' Tangled, and then Patrick in Chains or something. 50-50 between those things. I don't know. And then yeah, one person, you know, like in their opinions and in that thread that was WNBA focused, like talked about like there is like some like racial bias in like the WNBA, you know, like one person said straight up like the reason Brianna Stewart won was because she was white, right? And like, yeah, the WNBA in general doesn't market, you know, black players as well as white players, you know. There also was another case of there also was another like, I don't know, like piece, I guess, that was interesting during the season, is that like the new 2K came out, you know, every year Kobe Bryant's on the cover, 2K24, but they have a WNBA edition of the cover, and for that the cover, Sabrina Ionescu was chosen, who was on the New York Liberty, yeah. And like a lot of people were wondering like, why is she on the cover, right? It's like, you know, if, yeah, that's the thing, like the question of like who the face of the league is of the WNBA, like I think most people would say it's A'ja Wilson, right? It is A'ja Wilson, you know, statistically and like from like what she's doing, but like it's interesting that like they chose Sabrina Ionescu to be the cover athlete, you know, for the game. You know, it's also another thing where it's like like, do you understand? Yeah, where a lot of fans were like, do you understand that Asia Wilson is like actually the true face of the league? But you know, I don't know. Yeah, the cover athlete for a 2K game doesn't always have to be the face of the league. It doesn't always have to be. Yeah, I mean, what, it was Booker like last year, Luka year before that, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, anyways, I guess that's basically, is that all the WNBA stuff that was interesting? Yeah, that MVP race, that was close. And then everyone's like freaking throwing out opinions out, you know, the Aces and the Liberty, and like, yeah, there's like, there's a lot of stuff associated with that. Oh man, anyway, anything not athletic related, anything not Taylor Swift, she isn't related to anything in motherfucker, God, oh my God. Man, well, she knows it all too well, man. I don't know. Does she know the NFL all too well? I don't know. Dude, what is that breakup song gonna be like, man? What is it? She literally is gonna learn all of these freaking NFL like football terms. Like if she breaks up with Travis Kelce, she's gonna freaking learn all of those terms and use it in a song, man. It's gonna be so damn obvious. I don't know, man. Ugh, God. Yeah, that's the thing. You do not want to be one of Taylor's exes, you know? Well, I mean, that's not really true. Yeah, I mean, like, Taylor Lautner basically is, like, probably, there's also, I would assume there's the people she dated, like, early on, but, like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like if you're an ex of Taylor Swift, more often than not, like, yeah, you have to go into witness protection, man. It's like Jake Gyllenhaal, friggin', even though it was only for 2 weeks, but still, you know, even though he didn't shower when he was with her. John Mayer, you know, you get a whole freaking song about you. You get 2 songs. Would've, could've, should've, you know. You get songs, you get freaking vault tracks written about you, you know. Like Harry Styles, Out of the Woods was written about him, I guess, I think. Not confirmed, right? It's about as confirmed as freaking, you know, driver's license being about Josh, but you know. Or like, who's the guy like being I don't know. Olivia denies it. Yeah, she's like, I don't know. It's not about him. My songs aren't really about that. But yeah. Yeah, Joe Jonas, right? Oh yeah, there's that. That's the thing I missed. That's the thing that's not related. Joe Jonas and like his wife, Sophie Turner, have like getting a divorce, and then the internet is just all up in a tizzy about it. I don't know. Like, you know, taking sides on it. Like, a lot of the internet, most of them are taking Sophie Turner's side. It's weird that, like, the internet feels like they have to take a side in a divorce. I mean, like, I obviously there are, like, situations where, like, like, one person is obviously the worst person, but, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a whole thing. There's nothing too, like, scandalous about, like, the situation, right? It's like, I don't know. It's a whole thing. There was a thing where it's like Joe Jonas, there was a thing from Pop Crave or one of the friggin' pop culture Twitter accounts, oh god, too many of them, that they were like, that it said that like Joe Jonas wasn't a fan of Sophie Turner partying too much, right, or something, when she should be staying at home with the children or something. I don't know. It's like, I guess that's a kind of dumb, shitty thing to say, but it's like, I don't know. There's so much being like, okay, now I'm freaking preying on Joe Jonas's downfall. It's like, okay, all right, okay. I don't know. I guess it's just a whole part. I guess it kind of intersects with stan culture, right? It's not really stan culture. I don't know. It's more like the internet loves like taking sides and things. Like you see, yeah, like a thing from earlier this year with Keke Palmer and like her boyfriend, who did not break up, by the way. They didn't break up. Like they just like there's this whole thing of like, you know, the freaking Dancing with Usher thing, and freaking her boyfriend being on Twitter being like, why are you wearing this outfit, Kiki, you know, or something, and then freaking and then all that, and then the internet was just calling him en masse, Black Twitter en masse, calling him like her baby daddy and nothing else, right? Soon to be ex-boyfriend, and then it's like, no, they're still together. It's a weird, I don't know, man. Yeah, again, like the internet being freaking armchair, like not even psychologists, just like rooting for people in relationships, rooting for one person specifically in a relationship. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah. It's a whole thing. Did I talk about this? Did I talk about like the recent phenomenon with like any couple online, like any freaking like couple online, you know, like whenever there's a breakup, there always has to be like a statement, even if it's amicable, where it's like, me and this person have decided to break up. It was a mutual decision. I just want you to know. Please don't friggin' send any hate, overwhelming hate, death threats or whatever to this person. Please, please don't make it bigger than anything, But it's like there always has to be a statement, and I'm like, man, dude, I don't know, man. It's just a weird thing. Like, can't we just go back to the times where like people, even if they're like, YouTubers or like somewhat famous on the internet, can we go back to the time where it's like you knew they were dating someone but you didn't care that much about it, right? And like when they ended the relationship, you would like tangentially know about it, but they wouldn't outright tell their fans, right? It like, I don't know, like, well, yeah, I guess it's up to like the person, the creator in general, to have that level of have that barrier, have that level of privacy. But like, I don't know. Like I did not know that friggin' Ryan Higo was dating Arden Cho. Like I did not know that. It's like it was just a thing. Like in 2019, like he had a podcast episode where the title was like, with Arden Cho, my girl. I don't know. I don't think it said that she was his girlfriend, but it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I think he did a whole like video when he uploaded videos that where, he like, lampshaded it, or like, being like, okay, I'm dating her. Yes, the rumors are true. I don't know, man. I guess it's a personal thing with each person, and it varies, but I don't know. Like, it just shouldn't have to be a thing, right? Where it's like, where if you're online and like are in a relationship publicly and then you break up, you're like, we have decided to break up, it was amicable or something. Oh man, dude, I don't know. Just too many situations like this, man. Too many of these dating situations in general, man. I don't know. Am I just hating on this? It's just too much between, the Try Guys thing. It's like, that was different. I guess that was cheating. But like, I don't know, man. It's just too much of this stuff. Too much of this stuff, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Too many. Take me back to the days where like people were speculating about if someone was dating someone, but it wasn't like the main like thing, people like it wasn't a thing that obsessed like Twitter, I don't know. I don't know. Was that really a time? Like, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, like, early, I think it was the first episode I put out this year was called Watch Me Play Games and Stuff, which is a reference to a YouTube channel that featured two people. One of them recently rejoined a company that he, created as a website back in like, 2003, 2004, Yeah, he and this girl, they had a YouTube channel together. They did yoga. There's like a series, there's like this like 5-part series where the video titles were "We Try Yoga," and then it's just like them trying yoga, and then like people can make connections. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I wasn't like, I don't know. Like when they weren't together, I don't know. Like I guess I wasn't like, oh, what happened to Khalil? I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't that involved, that interested in his life at that point. But I don't know. It's like, God, just too much. I do remember like seeing like a video after the split, because they were like fiance. Yeah, they were like engaged. There was like a video of him proposing to her. Yeah. And then like I think like the channel reverted back to her name. I think it wasn't called Watch Us Live and Stuff. It was just called her name, right? yeah, and then like she had a like posted a vlog, and then I think like there was one part of it where she was like, yeah, I guess I don't want to talk about my ex or something, like, or no, she said something along the lines of like, I could talk about my ex, but I guess I don't want to talk about that, something like that. It was a long time ago, okay? The channel is long gone. It's lost freaking media. Oh man, how long have I been going, man? Dude, I've been going for like half an hour. What else has been going on? What else has been going on? What, how long is this Taylor Swift relationship gonna last? Yeah, longer than Maddie Healy. Longer than him. So, yeah. I'm excited, looking forward to the breakup song. It's probably gonna be elegantly written, you know? Oh, yeah, true. Also, relating to Taylor Swift, she has an interesting song title. It's like, dude, my God, dude. Just an exclamation point at the end of it, man. Just the exclamation point and then parentheses Taylor's version. They're always, yeah, like, I don't know, man. Doesn't Taylor herself think it's getting a bit corny? Like, I know why she needs to label it Taylor's version, but it's like, I don't know. I guess it's the whole thing, right? I don't think she really needs to do that. Like, we know it's Taylor's version. The album could just have the parentheses, and the song titles don't need parentheses, though. But I guess they need to because they are like new songs. Like, they have to count as new songs. They can't just have the old titles, but like, I don't know. Yeah, just having all the parentheses, like All Too Well, 10-minute version, Taylor's version from the vault. It's like, oh man, so many. Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing, like, eventually, yeah, like, that's what she wants, right? She wants, like, her versions of the albums to replace the versions, yeah, the original versions, right? So, I don't know. Yeah, anything else on Taylor Swift? Why do you have to talk? Oh man, anything else, man? Yeah, I guess. I hope your relationship does well, I guess. Oh god, anything else that happened? Yeah, I'm sure I said there's a lot of stuff that happened, but I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of stuff to get into on a Twitter segment. Anything else that happened in the weeks, September, anything? I don't know. Should I give some personal updates? I did go to a concert, yeah. I went to a concert last night. It was like, I don't know. I guess I'm not gonna, I don't know. I like being coy too much. I don't know. Long story short, it was pretty good, man. It was pretty good. I think it's like the best freaking show I've been to from like a performance perspective, man. I don't know. I can't believe I've been to 6 already. I don't know. Yeah. I guess if you want to know details, yeah, I had a tweet about it last night. That's like one sentence, and then I'll probably like post photos to my Instagram. I don't know. I won't link my Instagram here, but you know, hey, just be old fashioned and look up like my name. It has mango. My username on Instagram has mango in it. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. What else has been going on that I want to talk about before the Twitter segment? Starfield. Yeah, Starfield has been pretty good. How many hours have I put into it? Like, oh man, I'm almost level 30. Like, it has to be like 25 hours at least, right? Yeah, which seems like very small, but I don't know. I have been going to school on top of it, so probably have less opportunities, but I have been playing it on the weekends like a lot. Oh yeah, another interesting thing. So I recently learned that because of the university I go to, I have access to the Adobe Creative Cloud. And if you know what that means, there are like a bunch of applications associated with it. One of them being Photoshop, one of them being Adobe Premiere. Like, I have access to all of that. I do not know what this means for my creative like endeavors with like videos, but like that could be something interesting, man. I don't know. I learned how to like do most of the Photoshop things I wanted to do anyway with this app called Krita. It's like a free computer application, right, that you can just find online. But I don't know. It would be interesting to learn Photoshop more and actually learn how to actually use it. Yeah. Yeah, I talked about this like YouTuber Divya Reeds who like did videos of her like she would make book covers like using Photoshop, and it was just like mesmerizing the way she was doing it. I don't know. I probably will never get to that level, but just, just generally on the level of like touching up photos, maybe making thumbnails, but like I don't know. I don't want to try too hard at making thumbnails. It's fine. I'll take the thumbnailless videos. It's fine, man. The most I would do anyway is just put a number up. Yeah, like I do with Life is Strange, but like I don't know. It's just not that much of importance to me. Oh man, anything else that happened? Yeah, music I've been listening to. Yeah, I have been listening to a lot of freaking new music. I don't know. I made it a thing, I guess, like these recent past couple weeks to listen to a lot of new music because I had a bunch of albums in my digital library that I just haven't freaking listened to. Yeah, I did it by decade where like I listened to like three albums from the 80s and I listened to three albums from the 90s and three albums from the 2000s that I haven't listened to. And like it was all by new artists that I haven't like listened to or like put in on my last.fm. They're not recorded in my last.fm as like artists or albums I've scrabbled. So yeah, I guess like a few of them artists I've listened to basically for the first time. Radiohead. Yeah, I guess I could do it for like the 2000s. Radiohead, Manchester Orchestra, and Elliott Smith, right? And then the 90s, it was like two of them were trip hop albums. Portishead, Massive Attack. And then Weezer, surprisingly enough. I haven't listened to Weezer or put it on my Scrabbles at all. Even though I probably have listened to them, yeah. and for the 80s, I listened to Sonic Youth and Pixies and The Replacements. So, yeah. I also listened to, Miles Davis because I have Kinda Blue, and I listened to The Velvet Underground because I have The Velvet Underground and Nico. So, yeah. I don't know. There's some just classic albums that are like, you probably should listen to this if you want to call yourself a music fan, a music aficionado. I haven't listened to that much of them. Kid A was the Radiohead album I listened to. If you're wondering. And then was I listening to XO by Elliott Smith? No, Figure Eight. Yeah, Figure Eight. And the Manchester Orchestra album, Mean Everything to Nothing. Was it Daydream Nation was the Sonic Youth album. Doolittle was for the Pixies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then what's the Replacements album? Let It Be, which is like a reference to the Beatles album for some reason. And then the Massive Attack album was called Mezzanine, and then the Portishead album was called The Dummy. Yeah. And it's the first Weezer album, the Blue album, the one where they're like four guys and they're standing. Yeah. The song I've come back to most out of all of them is Teardrop by Massive Attack. I don't know. I really like that song. And the funny thing about it is, I listened to the Naked and Famous, I talked about them a few times. And then like, I found an album of theirs, A Still Heart. I think I did talk about it previously, where like most of this, where like all of the songs are like stripped down versions of songs from their previous albums, right? Like one song was like a mashup of the songs A Stillness and Hearts Like Ours, and it's called A Still Heart, which is the name of the album. And then like the second to last song, I think, the second to last or the last song on the album is called Teardrop. And I learned now from that song is that Teardrop is a cover. Yeah, they were covering Massive Attack. So yeah, I really like the original though. I don't know. Yeah, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, that's where the Naked and Famous song came from. Oh man, it's fine to learn up songs through covers. Yeah, Hurt was a cover, but it was covering Nine Inch Nails. You just stuff. I don't know. Yeah, was it 9 Inch Nails have been like, yeah, no, that Johnny Cash's version is the version. Yeah. Oh, man. So, is that basically everything before the Twitter segment? relationship, yeah, like but yeah, the summary of it all: Dame got traded, fun. I took a bit of joy in seeing smug Heat fans be humbled. I really love that Drew Holiday went to the Celtics. I love that the Sixers did not get better in the slightest, probably are in such a desperate situation as they always are, and that, one person might request a trade. No, not Harden. The other guy. Oh man, the WNBA is cool. I probably will watch the WNBA finals. Yeah, I'll be interested to see if Asia Wilson beats if Asia Wilson and the Aces beat Breanna Stewart and the Liberty. It'll kind of be like, yeah, see, that's who should have won MVP. It's kind of like if like Embiid and Jokic met in the finals. I was comparing like Alyssa Thomas, Asia Wilson, and Breanna Stewart to like, I was thinking in my head, like, who's the Jokic, who's the Embiid, and who's the Giannis of this? And I think that I think on the surface, Asia Wilson might be the Jokic because she's already won 2 MVPs. But like, I don't know. Like maybe, like I think she's more the Giannis, right? And Alyssa Thomas is the Jokic because of the triple doubles, and Breanna Stewart is the Embiid. But that might be me biased, though. I don't know. That might be a little biased. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I guess it'll be interesting to see that. Taylor Swift dating someone again. Relationships. Why can't people why can we go back to learning less about people's personal lives, man? Can we go back to being less invested in who people are dating and like speculate and like tweet about it all the time and like post picture and have whole accounts dedicated to couples, right? It's like, come on, man. I don't know, man. Too much, man. Too much. Man. But yeah, I guess that's basically listening to a lot of new music. Yeah, anyways, here is the Twitter segment. These Twitter segments are getting harder and harder and harder to do, man. I really just need to bookmark stuff, man. I just need to bookmark stuff that I see. It's so weird that, like, when I'm looking through my phone, I find so many things where it's like, damn, that would be so fun to talk about. But I just want to come upon them naturally, right? I just want to, I don't know. It's just hard, man. Here's a tweet that's, like, not friggin', too bad, I could talk about it. Someone said, I was at a party yesterday and saw someone work the room. It was magical. She simply had a genuine interest in what every person did and asked them complex questions about their interests in life, even if they weren't high status. This interest in going deep was an example of real charm and charisma. I was struck by how simple and powerful our interaction was. You don't need to overthink to get great connections with people, just willing to find where they interest you. By far the most replicable party trick I've encountered. I don't know why I wanted to read this. I don't know. I think it was just interesting. I don't know. Yeah, like charming. The interest of like charisma. I don't know. I'm like struggling. I'm desperate. I think it makes me think of that Daughter song, Party, which is like one of my favorite songs of the year, where I don't know, where the line, like, she's a rattlesnake, some stereo mind game, really, really good line. But I guess, can I relate to it? Like, I can't relate to doing this at all. I'm not someone at parties who freaking goes around. I don't know. It'd be interesting if that happened to me, though. I don't know. Yeah. I'd be cool. I don't know. Would I be cool? True. Anyways, this is the first tweet. I really need to freaking I really need to revamp this segment, man. I don't know. I promise it'll be better. It's just in a dark age, man. It's just in a dark age. Next one coming right up. Yeah, the next one is literally right below it. This is Sylvia Plath. From the Journals of Sylvia Plath. I read The Bell Jar my senior year of high school. It was like it was actually the last book I read in the library, in my high school library at lunch. What I was doing instead of partying. Well, I want so obviously, so desperately to be loved and to be capable of love. There you go. Why is this a tweet I wanted to read? I don't know. It was an interesting quote. Is it a romance quote that I die for? I don't know. It's cool though. Staying on the topic of those two previous tweets, someone tweeted, "I love a low energy extrovert. They're confident, they socialize well, they're outgoing, but they also don't do too much and they're always ready to go home when it's time." Isn't that an introvert? Isn't a low energy extrovert and a high energy introvert somewhat the same thing? I don't know. The whole difference between extrovert and introvert being that, like, if you're an extrovert, you thrive being around people. If you're an introvert, like, you crave, you like, you have a social battery and it kind of goes down. But I feel like a lot of them, like, it's not strictly one or the other. It really isn't. This extrovert introvert thing isn't a binary thing. Like, obviously you can be an extrovert and like feel like you don't want to be around people, right? But I don't know. I guess it's different. It's like how you find stimulation, right? I guess, like, speaking from me, like last night, I felt like I was fairly stimulated by being around people. There was an interesting freaking moment that happened nearby. At this concert, there were two people who got into it, man. There were two I don't know if I want to reveal people's personal business. I didn't film them, so I can say it, but there were two people. It's the same thing as like tweeting it out. Like, people tweet out stuff that happens with strangers all the time. Like, there were two people, like I was like, what, like, oh god, like 4-5 rows of people from the stage, right? And like the center of the stage, and like to like the like behind me, to the behind, like, left of me, diagonally to the left corner of me, there was a couple. There was a couple, and they were kind of like closely connected to each other, probably because there's a lot of people were on the freaking stage floor, right, on the floor. And then an interesting thing happened where it's like, I think the opener played, and like it was like 10 minutes before the show started, or like some time, I don't know. I'm just estimating here, but like I was like starting to overhear like this girl saying something to this guy and his girlfriend, supposedly, and then she was really, really upset that the guy was just always like accidentally freaking hitting her all the time, like bumping into her, like freaking, like maybe like her shoulder or something, or like, I don't know, it might have been more than that, but like she was like upset at that. And like, I don't know what the guy was saying, but like I was overhearing it, and then I think I turned her back once to hear it, and then like I turned around and I'm like, okay, good luck. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a thing, like standing for shows, I guess that's an interesting thing. I don't know, to segue. Standing for shows like for such a long time, I don't know. But like, yeah, I guess like, I like the fact, like, seeing a bunch of people interact, because I did just go alone. I don't know. Oh man, it was a thing, man. Yeah. Bottom line is, I am still an introvert at the end of the day. I did enjoy getting home and being alone and playing Starfield, because that was the first thing I did when I went home. I'm like, yeah, oh, that was such a great concert, one of the best I went to, and then like, nah, I'm just gonna play video games. That is me, man. That is me. I do these things, and then I'm like, yeah, actually, I just need to go home. Like a lot of introverts. Here is a thing that I probably should have started doing. I only did it for like 2 tweets, but like, there's an interesting tweet here from someone. The name is Sailor Moon Cricket. And then they tweeted, "Oh, so y'all wrote your own essays, never looked up answers on Quizlet on your phone during tests, and didn't get checked to pass online homework, and never looked at someone else's quiz when you were in college? Let's talk about all you had to do to get your degrees, actually." And then the reply, "'Cause what I found out in college, y'all cheat bad, and then since you have a degree, you're better than the people who don't have a degree, which is not true, because you only got it because your friend did all your homework. I respect the grind, to be honest." Oh, man. Yeah, I guess as I'm in school right now, it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. Like, yeah, I think this is a thing with some people, right? Like that, like they do all this stuff just to get a degree, and like, like don't realize maybe like that, like to get that, like you have to do a lot of stuff, man. You have to rely on a lot of people. I would assume this isn't like the overwhelming majority of people who do this, but I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting that this is I don't know. I guess I just found this tweet interesting where it's like, yeah, a lot of people like rely on like this sort of stuff to get by in college and in university. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I'd really do this stuff. I don't know. Like this is also like high school too, right? It's like getting your friends to do your homework for you, or like, yeah, just being like, hey, what's the homework? Yeah, can you give me the questions for this homework assignment, right? I've never really done that. I've never had the need to do that. Like the most like I have done in this regard, I've never used freaking Sheg. Like I've never freaking like relied on like a classmate or anything to freaking get me like the answers to anything. But like the most I've done is just download freaking textbooks. I have my own freaking private link, so I don't know. I guess it's a thing, like, getting a degree, you do what you can. Some people just want to, like, do what they can, right? Because, like, once you get a job, like, once you are entering the working world, or transition into that space, right? Like, no one is really going to care about all of the things you tried to do as a student, right? All of, like, the kind of skeevy things you tried to do, right? It's just going to be like, can you do your work, right? That's basically it. I don't know. But, I've never done these things. I'm admitting on the record that I've never, like, had to do this. I've never had to, like, do all this to pass classes, though. But there are people who've done that who like, and that's the thing. It's like, if you feel that you need to do that to pass, like, I don't think you should be looked down upon. Yeah, no, like, it's just, like, as long as you aren't, like, outright freaking being academically dishonest, as long as you aren't freaking using freaking Chat GPT to write your essays for you, or, like, outright freaking looking up answers to exams, like, as long as you're not doing that, I think it's fine. I don't know. Is this a controversial thing? Like, I think it just had to be understanding of, like, doing what you have to do, in order to get by. There are just some students who just have freaking things in their lives, right? Like, I don't think I'm necessarily one of them, but I don't know. You see it in, like, community college especially, right? It's like, there are, like, it's not everyone who's like freaking 18 or like 20, right? It's like there's people with like lives and like work, and it's like they just want to get these classes done, like in whatever way they can, like freaking, like obviously not cheating, but it's like, yeah, like they want to freaking get like it done, right? And they have freaking lives to worry about. They can't freaking like dedicate this whole like freaking how many hours outside of class, right? When they freaking have to work, to live. I don't know. It really is a thing. It's a perspective that I like understand. As someone like not in that position, yeah, I definitely understand it. Related to that last tweet, I bookmarked another tweet, and this could be the last thing. I don't know. This could be the last thing, depending. I don't know. There's this new wave of unpopular opinion quote tweet prompts with Patrick Star as the image and not frickin' Finn, whatever, from Tangled, whatever it is. Oh, man. And the topic is, what's a college opinion that'll get you like this in chains? And my problem with all of these is that, like, come on, man. Like a lot of people just use it to say opinions and not like specifically like I want to say an opinion that's I know is unpopular, right? It's like a lot of people say a thing on these things where it's like, how is that in any way frickin' unpopular? But it's like, whatever. Let me see what the quotes are. Oh man, wait, how do I view them? Oh god. Oh man, how do I fit? Oh, there you go. View quotes. New frickin' Twitter. The guy who got famous on Twitter, mostly for tweeting Kendrick Lamar's officially retired, said, if you or your parents are spending hard-earned money for you to be at college, go to your damn classes when you need to. It really isn't that hard. I agree. Nothing else to say there. The idea that attending college automatically lifts you out of generational poverty is a lie that is fed to vulnerable 17/18-year-olds by billion-dollar corporations. Wow, that's so unpopular. Technical schools, community college, and trading schools should be more encouraged more. Parking on campus should be free. Don't buy them textbooks. Okay, alright. Learning a trade instead of going to college is perfectly reasonable and even preferable in some ways, but you're never gonna see a politician visit a prep academy and encourage students from wealthy families to learn a trade, and we don't talk about that enough. Yeah, community colleges / professors are often really good. Yeah, Josh Sawyer is tweeting this, by the way. Josh Sawyer, who was the creative director for Fallout New Vegas at Obsidian. If you want to develop critical thinking skills, smaller class sizes that focus on discussion more than lecturing are important. Yeah. I saw like pretty much saw all these before, and like this one kind of like, yeah, I really agree with this, right? I don't know. I feel like I did take classes like at my previous school, which was a community college that I feel like I'm gonna like remember more, you know? I don't know. Like I had some professors that were like, yeah, they're like really good, but that I'm probably gonna think about. But I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be the same. I don't know if it is. I guess it's weird. Like I don't want to talk too much about what I do at school, but yeah, I could confidently say like, yeah, that like one of my classes is good, but the other classes it's mainly just like a requirement I have to do. So, anyways, what else do I have? What else do I have? Frats should be outlawed. It's not a scam. For as high as college tuition is, we shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for anything else. Books, events, food, parking, printing, school IDs, graduating, cap and gown should be included. Yeah, that's a weird take. Yeah, from like, this is not a personal statement. Like the fact that you have to like that, the fact that there are places where it's like that will only take your freaking ID card with a meal plan on it, right? I don't know, man. how freaking Perla was just so desperately looking for like, okay, does this place take cash, please? Oh man. And by the way, going back to that concert, like a thing about the concert was that the venue it was at advertised itself as a cashless venue, so you couldn't use cash. And I'm like, oh man, we really need to freaking get out of this trend, man. Like as long as freaking there's paper money being printed, it should always freaking be accepted at any place where you can buy things, where any transactional venue or place like should always be able to accept cash. I don't know why we do this. I guess it's not financially viable maybe, but I don't know. This is just such a thing. Like the moment like a grocery store stops accepting cash, I don't know, man. That'll probably be like, hopefully that'll be in like 2060 or 70 or something. Oh man. The goal of college learning is how to think. I've been to 2 eye doctors this year. What? Oh, I've been to 2 eye doctors this year. One of them was a French literature major at a liberal arts school, and she's like 1,000 times better than the one who just studied medicine. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, that's actually in a college of, that is actually kind of maybe fits the image. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously the learning how to think as the goal isn't like disagreeable at all, but the like saying that like a doctor with like a liberal arts like school would be better than just someone who just purely studies medicine. Yeah, I mean, more so it's about being well-rounded, right? Yeah, which is why like you should take advantage of the fact that there are electives. I did that. Yeah, I took, but like, I don't know. There's a thing where it's like people want to take electives, but there are also people who, just want to get the amount of credits needed to graduate. I don't know. Anyways, them art degrees gonna keep you poor. A lot of people choose college to avoid homelessness and escape horrible living situations, not because they wanted to go to college. Avoid homelessness by like staying in a dorm. I mean, but yeah, interesting, by like putting yourself in like debt a lot of the time. Oh man, you actually should read the assigned readings. Attendance policy shouldn't exist. If you're paying for the class, whether you show up or not should be on you. Yep. If you're broke, go to community college first. Yeah. Pirate all literature. Oh, okay, all right. Don't. This is college prestige is real and has a very real impact on graduates' lives. You generally should go to the best college possible in almost every circumstance. Yeah, I guess that's the extent of it. Yeah, this is all like one freaking block, I guess. That was those were the tweets that I saved in the freaking quote tweet. Yeah, those are the tweets. So yeah, I guess I might go through more. I just think I need to bookmark more tweets for these segments. I don't know. Anyways, that was basically the Twitter segment. There was just not, I don't know. It's just not worth it this episode just to go through all these tweets. I did miss like a bit. Yeah, I guess. One thing I missed, what I'm actually reading, because I am reading a book. Yeah, I finished Tokyo Ever After. It was pretty good. And then one thing I'm reading some classic literature. Yeah. It's a book called Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And yes, the title of the book actually does come up in the book. I literally just read it today. Yeah. Yeah, I love that, man. I love that when just like the title of a book, like when the title of the book isn't like apparent, you know, like that's those are the two things that have to be a thing, right? That have to work out for that for a book or movie or whatever. That like the title of something like can't be like apparent, right? It can't be like the Hunger Games, where it's like, why is it called the Hunger Games? Because there's this thing called the Hunger Games. Yeah, like that's boring. Like Delirium or something. It's like, why was it called that or something? Or like, you know, I don't know. I like The Fault in Our Stars has that, I guess. You know, like it just like where you have to work to learn about what the title means, you know. And I think Their Eyes Were Watching God is like a title that like you can there can be like meaning ascribed to it. Like even though like it's one line in it, it is like it's like one line that like doesn't feel like it's that important, you know. It's just in a scene, right? But yeah, anyways, it's about this woman, this black woman. I don't know, I think it takes place in like the early 1900s. Yeah, it's about this black woman who is yeah, like it's basically just like a character study. It's basically just like a story of this character who's this black woman named Janie, right? And she lives in like her life basically, and like it just goes through like her as a teenager, and like her like going through various relationships, right? She like her grandmother is like worried about her, like who raised, yeah, like her mom and dad like weren't in her life, so like her grandmother raised her, and then her grandmother wanted to set her up, or wanted her to marry like a man so that her grandmother would feel like secure, you know, right? And like leaving her in good hands basically. And then like Janie marries the man that her grandmother wanted her to marry, and then like a bit after that she meets this other man who offers to marry her, right? And they move away with him to this town, right? And then she goes with him, right? And then she marries him. And then after that, like it's like, you know, I don't know. I'd basically be spoiling the book at that point. But basically, it's yeah. So far, it's basically about this woman's life, and I really love stories like that. I really do love stories that are just like, you know, just a story of just like the story is just what the character goes through, you know. Like yeah, just same thing with like The House on Mango Street. I don't know, like the story of a book being like, this is just like what a character goes through. These are just the events that go through a character's life, you know. There isn't really like a larger like antagonist or anything, you know. You can like point to certain things as that, like, you know, but like I don't know, I guess I do like stories like that. Those are kind of the stories I basically write. Like I don't think of like who's the antagonist, like what is like, I don't know. I do think of stories in terms of like conflict though, because there is like every story needs conflict, but it's like, I don't know, it's different from like thoroughly plotted things like thrillers, or like, you know, where, you know, right, like horror novels or something, horror books, stories where like, you know, that there is going to be like a defined antagonist most of the time, right? Like, you know, if you have like a thriller like that involves like, you know, killing and murder, right? It's like, that's obviously like, you know, like it obviously has to be plotted, you know. I guess I'm just not too much of a fan of a plot, you know, like, you know, it doesn't mean I won't read a book that's like heavily plotted, right? But I don't know, I guess I just wanted to mention this because I think I'm probably gonna use the title of the book as the title of the episode, but a little bit different considering what I talked about. So yeah. Oh man, anything else I missed? Oh my god, dude. I was thinking about the things I missed and like just forgot about them, man. Oh god. What the Celtics gave up to get Drew Holiday. They gave up Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams. And like Robert Williams is like this, like was like a really good like rim protecting big for them, right? In total this offseason the Celtics lost Marcus Smart. And then they lost Robert Williams and they lost Malcolm Brogdon, but in return they got Kristaps Porzingis and they got Drew Holiday. So yeah, basically some good, I don't know, man, pretty like pretty much an upgrade, I guess. Yeah, Lakers fans, they think they're gonna win the championship. I think Nuggets fans are mostly unbothered. Yeah, the NBA this season's gonna be fun, man. Oh man, oh yeah, freaking yeah, the guy I'm talking about, Embiid, he tweeted out this offseason was fun. LOL, I think. Yeah, that's what he tweeted. He tweeted like something about, yeah, that's exactly the tweet. Oh man, look, man, just need one thing from him, man. I just need one thing. Oh god. Anyways, Daryl Morey is still a liar. Yeah, I guess he is. Oh man, I guess that's basically the episode. Yeah, the Dame trade saga is finally freaking over, man. We can move on to the end of the season in earnest, man. Right after, yeah, like, but before then, we can watch the Aces and the Liberty duke it out and see who actually should have won MVP. Should it have been Asia Wilson? I don't know. I think like most people, even if like the Aces like were to lose, because the Liberty beat the Aces like twice during the season, regular season, I think. Like one time was during like the Commissioner's Cup, which is this like special game, you know. Oh yeah, the in-season tournament is gonna be a thing. Who's gonna win that into the NBA? Yeah. So like, yeah, I think like even if the Aces lost in the finals, right, people would still be like, no, Asia Wilson deserved to be MVP. Yeah, so, or even like Alyssa Thomas. I mean, like, I don't know. Oh man, dude, Alyssa Thomas, man. that would have been, yeah. Oh man. Anyways, I think that's basically it for this episode. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.